In the Nature Nurture Action Pack, I explored my personal connection to the outside world. Going into this action pack, I was kind of a bit cautious as it seemed, I guess the best word is a bit wooey, to think of yourself connecting with trees or plants or nature and really feeling into the tree. Like all of this was very wild and external to me. And though I'd always thought in my head, like, it is so important to protect the environment and I love spending time with the environment, I never really felt like a deep human-like connection to the natural world until I did this action pack. So going through, I was learning about why when we go into nature, we do feel a sense of calm and peace, and that it isn't this really out there side concept that we're just naturally connected to trees and plants. It's that it's science that we have this thing called biophilia, which is elucidated in the action pack, that when we are out in nature that we do feel a connection, and that life, be it humans, animals, or even plants, being with them, we felt a sense of belonging, more so than if you were in an empty concrete room. And I think that makes a lot of sense. So then part of the local activity was going outside and sitting in nature, not doing anything, just being there and seeing if you could feel a connection. So when I went to do this, I was a bit skeptical. I always find myself, whether I'm on the bus or waiting for something, I have a podcast in, or I'm journaling or doing something. So I was nervous to not do anything and just sit. And I thought I'd be really fidgety and not be able to focus. And it's true that a few minutes into it, I was kind of moving around. I had lots of thoughts in my head. But rather surprisingly, I was able to ground those thoughts right away and kind of be more calm and just sit. And sooner than you would think, I was observing the trees and how they were just like dancing in the wind, and looking at the bugs flying around me and the flowers, and felt so at peace. And something I thought about is that, like, scientifically, if you look at the particles we as humans are made out of, the carbon and the nitrogen and the oxygen, all those things are also what these plants and animals and even rocks and water is made out of, just in different arrangements. So at a very elemental level, there is something that makes us essentially the same or have a connection to the natural world around us. And sitting in nature and just like staring face to face at a flower and thinking about how you share something with that flower, it can get kind of mind-boggling, but you start to feel that you're not so different after all. Coming out of the experience, I think now that I think about my environmentalism and my care for the climate and our planet, not so much as a head level, this is good, these are the 5 reasons why, these are all defended by these articles I read in school. I have this sense of, no, I really care about nature and I really value it and I really want to protect it and make sure it's able to thrive for years to come, which is so powerful because this work is hard. And there are times looking at policy, like the amount of carbon we're still emitting, that it seems not very hopeful. But when you root it down in that heart space and the connection to it, you have so much more energy because you have limited brain capacity, I think, to mentally deal with all these problems, but you have so much more heart capacity because love for nature and joy in nature is an infinite resource. So I really recommend this action pack if you want to deepen your activism, your understanding of the natural world. And also, if you're just curious, if this sounds very foreign to you and weird, that you should try it for these reasons. Because for me, even hearing myself speak, it sounds super foreign, and not what I'm used to, not the language I'm used to talking in. I'm not used to saying, I feel connected to the trees. When you actually sit down and do it though, you might be surprised in what you find. Okay, thank you.